Yo guys, what is going on? It is Invin here, and today what I wanted to bring to you guys is a couple of things that are here on the PTR in New World right now that are actually going to be coming to the game with the April patch that are pretty cool. Now, as you will be able to tell from the title of this video, the first thing here that we're going to be talking about is some life staff targeted healing, and then I also wanted to just touch on a couple of other little improvements that they have made, which make the game a lot more smoother. Now, this isn't going to be too long of a video, but it is something that I thought is going to be really important to cover, so that when it does drop into the live game, if you are a healer specifically for this first point, you can hit the ground running, but also anybody that decides to use their life staff, whether you're stepping in to heal for an expedition or something along those lines, this is a much better system than the previous one, so I thought I would go over it. Now, as always with these videos, if you do go on to enjoy it, please do drop me a like down below, as it massively helps to support my content here on the channel. And if you are new to the channel but you'd like to see more New World content, I cover absolutely everything and I upload every single day, so it would be amazing to have you here as part of the channel community. So do please consider subscribing down below. It's completely free and you can always change your mind later. And without further ado, let's jump into it. So first things first, we're going to press escape, we're going to go into the menu, and we're going to go into the settings section here. We're simply going to go down to key bindings here, and what you will see is this column on the left hand side here, which is titled Life Staff Combat. Now, we already had a targeted self, we already had exit auto target, cycle target, up and down. Fine. Now, bear with me with these controls, it's the PTR, so I've not exactly rebound everything, but that's just as they are by default. Now, the new thing that you'll see here is targeted group member 1, 2, 3, 4, and 5, as well as toggle group mode. Now, with these, you can simply set them to whatever you'd like them to be. Now, do bear in mind that your consumables are on some of those numbers right now, but you can change this. Maybe you could have it on your F1, 2, 3, 4, and 5 buttons, although, again, do be aware that some of these already have prerequisite things attached to them, such as the accept banner. For me, what I would go for with this one is probably 1, 2, 3, 4, and 5, and then I would switch my consumables round to maybe some of the other buttons. I'm not entirely sure, but of course there is going to be different ways you can do this. But for example, just to show you guys it's simply how this works, you click onto it, you would click 1. Now obviously 1 is currently for the groups, for weapon 1, etc. But what you can do is press on the number pads 1, 2, 3, 4, and 5 if you think that's going to be slightly easier for yourself. So that's what I'm going to rock with for now. However, this is a little bit awkward, especially when you've got to have your hand on the mouse as well. Maybe if you're someone who has mouse buttons, you could put one of them on there. Maybe middle mouse button clicked in could be one of them. Figure it out, maybe F, R, things like that. Maybe that aren't already attached to certain skill buttons, you could put on there that are around your W, A, S, and D. But yeah, there's some customization to be had there, which is pretty useful. And if you can work out some buttons that work for you with targeting specific members, this is going to be a really, really cool way to do it. If you do mess up, you don't want it to be bound to that anymore, you simply right click on whichever one you've bound and it will take them off again. So it's very easy to customize, and it will tell you if you want to overwrite it. For example, if I press 1, it will tell me that the old action, which was for weapon number 1, will not be bound to any key. Do you want to proceed? So you can check that you're not overwriting something that you don't want to do. Pretty easy, pretty straightforward, but it is something very, very cool that a lot of players have been asking for, specifically the healers, so I thought I'd bring that to everybody's attention. Now, another thing that we can touch on here and see in action in the PTR is, of course, when you open up the map, you are automatically zoomed into the settlement. This is a really, really cool addition and something that I think a lot of players are going to just find handy. You might not notice it initially because it's just kind of like you're used to zooming all the way in, but just having it be there is super useful. Now, do bear in mind if you zoom out and look somewhere else on the map, when you reopen the map it doesn't zoom back in, although this has got time to change before we obviously hits the live servers. But if you zoom out just a little bit, scroll it away, by the time that you next open up the map it will be roughly in the middle of the map, so that's pretty cool. The other thing that you can see on the side of the map here is of course the different tabs that you now have. So they're in a slightly different order. Obviously upcoming wars down here, and they are slightly thicker. They've got, you know, slightly different aesthetic to them, and you can see what each of them say. I quite like it. It looks a lot cleaner in my opinion, and you can see that you've got your manage objectives here. You can track all of these with distance closest first, easiest, etc., and then you can see your territory standings, and you can also see your upcoming wars and resource locations. Now what you'll see here as well is it now shows you the amount of unspent tokens that you have a lot more clearly on this little territory standing icon when you do level it up. Obviously in the PTR you can just pretty much zoom ahead right up to level 100. I could go further, but then you can simply spend a few of these points, and then if you go out of this screen it will then tell you again that you have now 97 left to do. It's just a little bit more clean, a little bit of a nicer QOL feature here, which I really like, and again it's just helped clearing up this whole UI system, which is always a positive. Now, the other thing that they've changed here in the PTR that's going to be in the April update is when you enter into a settlement, the tax and all that kind of goodness that used to pop up on the top hand side of the screen will no longer do that. So if we just kind of run out of Everfall here a little bit further down the road, and then we'll do a U-turn when we hit the edge of these farms here and run back in, this will then say to us, obviously we're not checked in, that's the bit that we needed, and then we head back this way and we will be able to see, it should just tell us we are in Everfall capital, tells you whoever owns it. Obviously on the PTR these people own this one, but it doesn't pop up with the tax information. Now this is nicer in terms of UI quality and things not being as in your face. However, do make sure that you're not getting caught out by these taxes. Obviously with the map automatically scrolling in and the reduction of the banner size when you walk into a town, you will now have to scroll out on the map and specifically look at the tax information for each settlement. So do be aware, if someone tries to be a little bit cheeky and switch up that information, you know, from one day to the next, you do have to keep on top of it by manually looking, as when you are scrolled all the way in, there isn't a way to check this. You know, you don't have access to it. You need to then scroll out to be able to click on the icon. And the other way to check it is by going up to the town hall and looking at the governor's desk. You'll be able to see what the taxes are already at, but obviously the map is way easier just by scrolling out and clicking. You can see, but do just be aware that people may try to be a little bit cheeky when this first comes out and catch you off guard with some extra property tax or some extra trading tax. So do watch out for that. So that is pretty much going to be it for this quick little roundup video. Just wanted to keep you guys up to date with some of the quality of life features that we are actually seeing in the PTR that of course are going to be coming to the April update here in New World. These are just a few of the initial things that they have released, and of course it's hitting that time where it was released about a week ago now on the PTR, so we may or may not see some notes further to the ones we've already had coming up in the next few days. So if we do, of course I will keep you guys updated, but like they've said in their dev update video, this PTR is not planning to be as long as other ones because it is simply just some quality of life as well as bug fixes and all that good stuff like I talked about the other day, and there's been a heck of a lot of bug fixes. This feels a lot smoother even when I'm playing on US East, which obviously is not my local region. So it's fingers crossed going to be another brilliant patch putting the position of New World higher and higher up that scale of completeness and making us nice and ready for when those 3v3 arenas release, hopefully next month. Now like I said, if we do get any further information on this or any further updates that we're going to be getting in April or any other news and updates, I will keep you guys updated, so do be sure to subscribe to the channel down below. And if you have found today's video useful for keeping you guys in the loop with some of the latest info and changes, then do drop me a like down below as well, as it massively helps to support my content here on the channel. Other than that, I will catch you guys very, very shortly on a brand new upload. So thank you for your time, thank you for watching, and peace.